I wrote a piece about this years ago in National Review when I was a contributing editor there, till I chose to leave. When they all got together and thought it was a great idea to write 25 essays against Donald Trump, I said, "See ya, boys." Anyway, I was called a restrictionist by the Wall Street Journal editorial page, which believed in open borders. Thou shalt have open borders. That was the 5-word amendment that they proposed in the 1990s. Thou shalt have open borders. They've never apologized for that, as I've told you before. They've never even acknowledged how stupid they were and often are. But I wrote a piece talking about, look, we need to deport people and so forth and so on in National Review, and I was one of the restrictionists. Yeah, I guess I am a restrictionist. Follow the law or don't come. At the Department of Homeland Security, interestingly enough, they explain our immigration system, and this is from about a year ago, and they explain our immigration system in a way that actually makes some sense. And then you got to wonder, did Mayorkas ever watch this video? Does he even know it exists on his website? But let's take a look, then we'll discuss it after. Go.
Across the world, people are leaving their homes and their countries because of hunger, violence, political repression, poverty, and a lack of economic opportunity. Many seek safety and economic opportunity in the United States, as well as other countries in the region. Criminal smuggling organizations prey on migrants. They lie about U.S. immigration laws and hide the extreme dangers of the journey because they care only about money. But the U.S. border is not open to illegal or irregular migration, and U.S. immigration laws remain strict even as the COVID-19 public health order known as Title 42 ends. The Department of Homeland Security is simply returning to fully enforcing United States immigration laws under Title 8, placing people into removal proceedings and removing those who have no basis to remain in the United States. Unlike Title 42, Title 8 laws impose immigration and criminal consequences, including final orders of removal, deportation, a 5-year ban on re-entry, and possible criminal prosecution if you attempt to re-enter. The United States has and will continue to enforce our nation's immigration laws. The U.S. Border Patrol works every day to protect our borders using sophisticated technology, cameras, and aerial surveillance to arrest people attempting to cross the border illegally. Under Title 8, individuals and families who arrive without authorization can be subject to removal. Through expedited removal, certain non-citizens can be returned to their country of origin very quickly. Certain non-citizens may be returned to Mexico even if they are not Mexican citizens. Dozens of deportation flights take place every week. Last year, the U.S. removed or expelled more than 1.4 million people, more than any previous year. Do not put your life at risk by taking the dangerous journey only to be sent back. Many migrants don't know this and believe the lies they see on social media or hear from others. Smugglers count on that. Smugglers may not explain the dangers, that migrants are often assaulted, abused, or kidnapped for extortion by criminal cartels. Smugglers lie about the risks of death due to heat and dehydration, the dangers of drowning trying to cross the river, or the injuries that migrants could suffer falling from the border barriers. Smugglers also lie or leave out the fact that non-citizens who arrive without authorization are subject to removal from the United States. Migrants who try to illegally enter the U.S. without authorization will be arrested and processed, which means they are screened and vetted against criminal and other databases. Anyone who poses a threat will be removed as quickly as possible or detained in accordance with the law. The fact is, most non-citizens coming to our border are not eligible to remain in the United States. Asylum laws do not provide for relief solely for economic reasons or for general violence. U.S. authorities may detain migrants until removal. In some cases, non-citizens may be temporarily released as they await the results of their immigration court proceedings, only if they have passed screening and vetting.
Sounds pretty authoritative, doesn't it? Step by step, this is how it works. It's pretty good propaganda because, unfortunately, under this regime, that's not how it works. Open borders is the name of the game, the abuse of parole and asylum, giving temporary waivers for 18 months so people can escape into the country, never to be seen again, rather than appear before administrative law judges. We've actually had millions of deportation hearings backlogged at the Department of Homeland Security. Backlogged. We have deportation orders several million, that are not enforced for a lot of reasons. One, they can't find the people, they've left, and number two, they just choose not to. Backlogs again. The system's been overwhelmed. That's Cloward and Pivens, two communist professors. They talked about how you overwhelm a system, and that's what's happened here. This is intentional. This is being done by the Democrat Party to create more Democrats under birthright citizenship and chain migration, which was passed in 1965 as part of the Hart-Celler Act. Again, I wrote about that in Liberty and Tyranny. That was intentional. So the whole goal is to change the citizenship, reshape it, as the New York Times put it, in a bold moment when it didn't mean to. Reshape the electorate, I think is the phrase they used, or one of the writers did. And that's what they've done. So if the citizenry will not go along with the views of the Marxist Islamists, then you change the citizenry. And that's exactly what's taking place here. If you want to create a phony competitive election, that is, where the Democrat Party cannot lose, then you import future Democrats in such large numbers. Whether it's the popular vote or the Electoral College, the Republicans can never win. You see this going on in places like California and Illinois. You see it taking place in places like New York, which is on the precipice. But people are fighting back, some to some success, some to no success. That's what's taking place. It is utterly diabolical. I've been talking about it for years and years and years, and I've been attacked for it. I don't much care. I wrote a piece about this years ago. I can't find it, but many years ago in National Review, when I was a contributing editor there, till I chose to leave, when they all got together and thought it was a great idea to write 25 essays against Donald Trump, I said, see you, boys. Anyway, I was called a restrictionist by the Wall Street Journal editorial page, which believed in open borders. Thou shalt have open borders. That was the 5-word amendment that they proposed in the 1990s. Thou shalt have open borders. They've never apologized for that, as I've told you before. They've never even acknowledged how stupid they were and often are. But I wrote a piece talking about, look, no, we need to deport people and so forth and so on in National Review. And I was one of the restrictionists. Yeah, I guess I am a restrictionist. Follow the law or don't come.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.